There he was, holding that milkshake, a big surprised smile on his face. Now, what did that cost me? Only $2. Hey, I've enjoyed and shared the memory of that experience 100 times. For just $2. Remember, it's not the amount that counts. It's the style. That same day, I guess I was feeling extra creative. When my lady and I got to Carmel, I drove straight to the flower shop. We walked inside, and I said to the florist, I need a long stem red rose for my lady to carry while we go shopping around Carmel. She was some impressed. The florist said, well, we sell them by the dozen. I said, I don't need a dozen. I just need one. He said, that'll cost you a couple of dollars for just one. I said, wonderful. There's nothing worse than a cheap rose. I selected the rose, handed it to my lady, and said, here, carry this while we stroll around town. She was impressed. And the cost? $2. Just $2. A couple of hours later, we were having some refreshments, and my lady looked across the table and said, Jim, I just thought of something. I said, what's that? She said, I think I'm the only lady in Carmel today carrying a rose. I said, that's probably true. For $2, can you imagine $2? Remember, it's not the amount. Hey, just 2 ideas and a total cost of $4 for unique experiences and sweet memories. Just 2 modest examples of how easy it is to put style in your life. Make sure you don't miss out. Don't miss anything you can enjoy. Be sure you live your life in style. Here's something else to think about. Did you ever hear where the expression tip came from? As in tipping the waiter or waitress in a restaurant. Mr. Schoaf taught me that it began as a symbol for the phrase, to ensure promptness. Now, Schoaf said, if a tip is to ensure promptness, when should you give it? Answer, up front. See, I didn't know that. I said, no, you have lunch, and if you get good service, you leave a good tip. If you get lousy service, no tip. And he said to me, no, Mr. Rohn. Sophisticated people don't take a chance on good service. They ensure good service by giving the money up front. I said, wow, what a way to live. I had never thought of that. So the next time you have someone special to take to lunch, call the waitress over, arm around the shoulders and say, here's $5. Would you take good care of me and my friend? Schoaf said you won't believe what happens. They do what's known as hover. They hover around your table. Without the insurance, you are usually looking around saying, where is my waitress? Has she gone on a break? Same money, different style. One last major point. Life in style is also life in balance. Make sure you pay attention to all the values and dimensions of your life. One is family. If you have someone you care about, there is no value to match that. One person caring for another is life in the best of style and value. Protect it with a vengeance. If a chair gets in the way, I suggest you destroy the chair. It was wisely said so long ago, but is still true for today. There are many treasures, but the greatest of these is love. Better to live in a tent on the beach and have a love affair than to live in a mansion by yourself. Ask me. I know. Family must be cultivated like an enterprise, like a garden. Time and effort and imagination, creativity and genius must be summoned constantly to keep it flourishing and growing. Next is friendship. A priceless value, friendship. Friends are those incredible people who know all about you and still like you. Friends are those people who are coming in when everyone else is leaving. And, as someone once suggested, be sure to make the kind of friends on your way up who will take you in on your way down. Life is a bit of both, up and down. But with true friends, friends who care regardless of your circumstances, the ups are more automatic and the downs less devastating. Traveling around the world, I have made some unique friends. I've also got some strange friends. One of them is a thief. He steals, but you'd love him. He's really a neat guy, but he really does steal. Now, he's not a big thief. He's just a little thief, but he is a thief. Once in a while, someone reminds me, your friend steals. I say, I know. What can I do? I talk to him about it. He's just my thieving friend. I do have one very special friend, though. If I was stuck in a Mexican jail and accused unduly, I would call this friend. Guess why I'd call this friend? He would come and get me. Now that is a friend. Someone who would come and get you. Guess how much you would spend to get me? Right, as much as it would take. Guess how long you would try to get me out? You're right, as long as it would take. That is a friend, someone who would come and get you. Now, I also have some casual friends who would probably say, call me when you get back. I guess we all have some of those friends. But friendship is so vitally important to those in search of the good life. Make sure your friendships get the attention and the effort they deserve. Properly nourished, they will give back to you that priceless treasure of both pleasure and satisfaction called the good life. And remember, the good life is not an amount. The good life is an attitude, an act, an idea, a discovery, a search. The good life comes from lifestyle that is fully developed, regardless of your bank account, so that it provides you with a constant sense of joy in living and fuels the fires of commitment to all of the disciplines and fundamentals that make life worthwhile. What is wealth without character? Industry without art? Quantity without quality? Enterprise without satisfaction? Possessions without joy? Become a person of culture, to add to the whole culture, for we are most certainly a product of all the values of our community and country. Become that person of unusual substance that brings an added measure of genius to the whole, so that our children and the children of many will be the beneficiaries of the treasure. There are three major parts to life change. First is knowledge, second is emotion, and third is action. When all three come together in a unique way, we call that the day that turns your life around. Hopefully, from all that you have heard in this album, it has added to your knowledge a blend of your experience, the experience of others, and now my experience. I hope I have brought you some wealth of knowledge. Now, here's the next important part, and that's emotions. Human emotions are powerful. They are so powerful that any one of them can have a dramatic effect on your life in a single day. However, make this careful note. Emotions are tricky. They can go either way on you. Emotions can build or destroy, weaken or strengthen, make or break. It all depends on how you use them. We call civilization the intelligent management of human emotion. That's it. The power, given an intelligent direction and objective, can accomplish spectacular things. The power, the feelings, those surges of heart and soul. What are they? What can they do? Well, here are some. First, disgust. Disgust is a powerful emotion. Disgust says, I have had it. Hey, that could be the day that turns your life around. That's what I said the day that little Girl Scout came to my door. I give her the big lie, she leaves, and I say to myself, I don't want to live like this anymore. I've had it with being broke. I've had it with being embarrassed. And I've had it with lying. What a day. A life-changing day. The day when you've had it. And whether it's something major or something small, the day you can say enough is enough. That could be the life-changing day. The man has finally had it with being a loser. He's had it with mediocrity. He's had it with those awful sick feelings inside, knowing his wife is at the grocery store looking at 2 cans of beans, one marked 69 cents and one marked 67 cents. The man knows his wife is going to buy the 67-cent can and she doesn't even like the brand. Know why she's going to buy the 67-cent can? To save 2 cents. The man sick inside says, "I've had it with being on my knees in the dust looking for pennies. We are not living like this anymore. Look out. That's the day. The I've had it day. The never again day. The enough is enough day." Powerful. Hey, nothing is so life-changing as a powerful disgust. And there's probably nothing so pitiful as a mild disgust. The man says, "I kind of think I've had it." How sad. Not powerful enough for life change. Now here is the second emotion, decision. Decision-making is emotional. Those knots in the pit of your stomach, waking up in the middle of the night, lying there in a cold sweat, trying to decide. We sometimes call it inner civil war, conflict, battle of the mind, heart, and soul. It's emotional. It's powerful and critical. It sets the course or blinds the course. It sets the mind or leaves us helpless, drifting, not being able to make up our mind. Well, for progress we must decide. Come to grips with the surges, the tides, the conflicts. The best advice I can give you is, if it's easy, do it easy. If it's hard, do it hard. Just get it done. If after listening to this program you cleaned up a whole list of decisions, that might furnish enough inspiration for the next 10 years. And I might add, sometimes getting on with it is easier than deciding. Sometimes deciding is the toughest part. But once you have waded those waters, you can climb the mountain. Deciding is truly the day that turns your life around. Next is desire. Wanting to bad enough. And I don't know how to tell you to want to. You have to come up with that. There are 2 things, however, that I know about desire. First, it comes from inside, not outside. You don't send off for it, although some people try. And second, desire can be triggered. Sometimes it waits and sleeps, waiting for something to happen. And who knows what that trigger, that happening might be. Maybe it's a song, maybe it's a sermon, maybe it's a movie, a lecture, a seminar. Maybe it's a conversation with a friend, a confrontation with an enemy, an event, a day, a bitter experience. Whatever it is, it's good. Sometimes from the bitterest experience comes the greatest awakening. Here is some of my best advice to you. Welcome every human experience. You never know which one is going to turn it all on. Don't keep up the walls. The same wall that keeps out disappointment keeps out happiness. Let life touch you. Don't let it kill you, but let it touch you. It could be the next touch that makes the day that turns your life around. And here is the last emotion, resolve. Resolve says, I will. 2 of the most powerful words in the language, I will. Benjamin Disraeli once said, nothing can resist a human will that will stake even its existence on the extent of its purpose. Shortly put, I'll do it or die. That could be the day. The man says, I will climb the mountain. They've told me it's too high, it's too far, it's too steep, it's too rocky, it's too difficult. But it's my mountain. I will climb it. Pretty soon you will see me waving from the top or dead on the side because I'm not coming back. Hey, that's powerful. Time and fate and circumstance call a hasty conference, and they all agree. We might as well let John have it. He says he's going to get it or die. Wow, that's it. Resolve. The best definition of resolve I ever heard was from a junior high girl in Foster City, California. I'm talking to the junior high kids, and I asked the question, who can tell me what resolve means? I got several hands. Some were pretty good, but the last one was the best. She said, I think resolve means promising yourself you will never give up. I said, that's it. Best I've heard. Promise yourself you will never give up. I asked the kids, how long should a baby try to learn how to walk? How long would you give the average baby before you shut him off? You say that's crazy. Any mother in the world would say my baby is going to keep trying until it learns how to walk. No wonder almost everyone walks. What a magic formula, the until formula. Good question. How long are you going to work to make your dreams of wealth and happiness come true? I suggest the until formula. It's the best. Emotions: disgust, decision, desire, resolve. Now let me give you the third part of the equation. That equation that gets results. It's action. Disciplined action. There's a famous line that says, don't just be listeners, be doers. That's it. Doers. The whole world loves the doers. That's what makes the wealth and the winning. Doing, disciplined, emotional action. Another famous line says, faith without action serves no useful purpose. Wow, what a major piece of information. Many people these days are big on affirmations. You have to be very careful of affirmations. Remember, there is a thin line between faith and folly. Here's the best I can give you on affirmation. Affirmation without discipline is the beginning of delusion. And there is nothing worse than delusion. Walking west looking for the sunrise. It's bad. However, affirmation with discipline can bring the most incredible results. But remember, they go together. Make sure you have a game plan to match your wishes. Otherwise, they will always be wishes. Now, in closing, I ask you to consider these 4 questions. I call them questions to ponder. The first question is why? Why should you try? Kids often ask, why? It's a good question. Ask yourself, why get up that early? Why work that hard? Why read that many books? Why make that many friends? Why go that far? Why earn that much? Why give that much away? Why put yourself through all those disciplines? Why is an excellent question. The best answer I know to the question why is the second question to ponder. Why not? What else are you going to do with your life? Why not see how far you can go, how much you can earn, or read, or share? Why not see what you can become, or how far you can go? Why not? You have to stay here until you go. Why not? The third question goes a bit further. Why not you? Some people have done the most incredible things with a limited start. Why not you? Some people do so well they get to see it all. Why not you? Why not you watching the morning mist rise over the mountains of Scotland, soaking up history in London, or exploring the mysteries of Spain? Why not you having lunch in one of those neat little sidewalk cafes in Paris? There's nothing like a stroll through the Palace of Versailles. Someday you must gaze directly at the Mona Lisa. Why not you on a sailing schooner in the Caribbean? 2 weeks there and you lose all your cares. I can show you where to find the most exquisite seashells in Australia. I know where they are. Why not you? Why not you shopping on Fifth Avenue in New York City, staying at the Waldorf, or having sliced roast goose on a bed of apple strudel at Luchow's? Stop off and drink in an Arizona sunset. Take a quiet walk along the beach with that incredible feeling, knowing you are enjoying the result of a disciplined effort. Why not you, with an unusual awareness to the heartbeat of life? Why not you? The last question is the key to action. Why not now? Why postpone your better future any longer? Get at it today. Get some new books, make a new plan, set a new goal. Ask some new questions, lock onto a new resolve, make a new effort, and do it all now. Another thing is to ask for God's help. which may sound a little strange. This is not a religious program. My personal word would be that humans are unique, but we could all use a little extra help. Of course, it's a two-way street. I think God will do His part if we will do our part. During this program, we have talked about our part. There is a story about a man who took a rock pile and in 2 years turned it into a fabulous garden, and people came from everywhere to see it. One day a man came by, saw the garden, and thought it was fabulous, but he wanted to make sure the gardener did not take all the credit. He had this deep feeling inside that a lot of people leave God out. So he toured the garden and had a chance to meet the gardener. When he met him, he shook his hand and said, "Mr. Gardener, you and the good Lord together have made this beautiful garden." The gardener understood his message and his point, so he said, "I think that's true. If it was not for the sunshine and the rain, and the miracle of the seed and the soil and the seasons, there would be no garden at all. But," he said, "you know, you should have seen this place a couple of years ago when God had it all by Himself." I think that's true. We do play an important part in this challenge called making all we can out of all we have. Well, we have shared a feast together during these cassette sessions, a feast of ideas that can, if we'll digest those ideas, satisfy our lifelong appetite for both wealth and happiness. Here's what I want to offer in the way of a suggestion. Now that we've feasted on the philosophical side, the theory side of the fundamentals, let me encourage you to participate in what should always follow any feast, and that is activity, exercise, and effort. In this case, the active and intense application of all that we've learned and shared together. I want to appeal to you right now to go to work. I appeal to you to review your associations with those people around you. I appeal to you to set your goals, to begin the quest for developing yourself, and to embark on a journey leading to your own financial independence by following a well-defined plan. I appeal to you to enjoy your life as you seek to improve it. I give to you my strong appeal to seek knowledge so that your value to yourself and to others might increase. And finally, I appeal to you to discipline yourself for the control and management of the precious commodity of which we are granted only a limited amount, time. Work on all these areas, but by all means work. It is always easier to think than to do. It is easier to promise than to achieve. It is easier to pretend than to produce. It is easier to plan than to act. I ask you not to do what is easy, but to do what will actually bring you the achievements you seek. Those who enjoy wealth but not happiness, those who are happy but not prosperous, as well as those who are neither happy nor wealthy, seem to ignore some or all of the fundamentals we've discussed. They are perhaps too busy, too tired, too preoccupied, too lazy, and perhaps even too rich to give attention to the basics. But don't let that be you. Go to work today on the fundamentals and commit yourself to yourself. The results will be well worth it, I promise. This is Jim Rohn giving you my final appeal. Let's do something remarkable.
We know you've benefited from this remarkable program, Success Strategies, 7 Keys to Wealth and Happiness. We're confident that if you choose, your plan can help you make your dreams reality. This is just one of the many programs Nightingale Conant produces to help you reach your highest potential. For instance, listen to this excerpt from another of our dynamic products, Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. Robbins discusses the power of neuro-linguistic programming and how we can all use our personal power to produce new behaviors and emotions. In this segment, he talks about how movie maker Steven Spielberg got his start by using his personal power.
He's known he wanted to be involved with movies. He's had a love for movies since he was 13 years old. When he was 17 years old, he decided to go on the Universal Studios tour in California, and he went on the tram and got real bored real fast. He said, I want to see real movies. So he had a thing called personal what? So he got himself to take action. He snuck away from the tram, and he got down to the movie lot, and he actually stepped onto a filming and actually watched some filming going on. He wasn't supposed to be there. But he also had a tool called rapport. And he developed rapport with the director and started talking with this man. And this guy liked this moxie little kid, young kid, right, who seemed to have this real desire, and he loved the creativity and the intensity that he saw in this young man. And so he told him about what it was like to be a producer and a director, and told him it was the greatest career he could ever have, and he should do whatever it took to become one. And then finally the man said, okay, now it's time for you to go, and the security escorted him off the lot. Now, for most people, that would have been, God, what a neat story, huh? You're 17, you get to meet a real director, watch a real filming instead of just going on the tour. But see, once again, this man was totally committed to a dream. And so guess what? Using his personal what? Power, he took action. And the next day, he came up with a plan. He showed up at Universal's lot wearing this one suit that he owned and borrowed his dad's old briefcase, threw in there a candy bar and a couple sandwiches, and he walked by purposely, congruently past the guard and went, hey, how's it going, Harry? Of course, he got the guy's name by reading his name tag. But he was so congruent that Harry just went, oh, hi. And he walked right on by. So now he's in the lot where he now goes around meeting people, watching movies, learning, right? Knowing his outcome, taking action, getting some sensory acuting, learning what worked and what didn't work in movie making. And he went there every day after school and throughout the summer. So people began, the guard would say, Harry would say, hey, how's it going, Stephen? How are your movies coming? Hey, great, it's really fabulous. Right? He found himself an abandoned trailer. There are lots of them on Universal Studios lot. He found one, cleaned it out, got some plastic letters. On the outside he wrote, Steven Spielberg, director. People say, where's your office? He said, over there at, K9 and everything else. People come to his office. One day, finally, a director said to him, well, let's see one of your movies. So he pops out this Super 8 cartridge. He said, well, wait, we got to see a real movie. He said, you seem to know a lot about that. How did you learn so much about movies? Well, he spent 2 years or a year on the lot, right? Being there, developing acuity, developing and stuff, getting creative, letting his mind run, totally committed to his outcome. So finally he said, look, if you'll make a film and show it to us, a short film, he said, we may hire you. So he went out and convinced one of his friends who was in my seminar last week, and I told the story, and this guy got up and said, I financed that original film. It took $10,000, and Steven Spielberg made this little film about a group of teenagers that went from the desert and hitchhiked to California. And this guy financed it. It was amazing. Anyway, bottom line is, he showed at Universal Studios, and they hired him with a 7-year contract to make television programs. Not bad. Why was he there? Because he had this great gift. His great gift was commitment to an outcome. He'd do whatever it took. And out of his personal power, he took action until he found a way to make it work. That's where the power is. Commitment to practice what is important to you, to do whatever it takes, and not to accept less than you can be. Not to accept results that are less than you deserve or anyone that you support or represent. That's critical.
If you'd like more information about unlimited power or any of Nightingale Conant's inspiring audio and video programs, call us toll-free at 1-800-323-5552. Thanks for listening, and come hear us again.